NBC Sports brings you the fifth game of the 1968 World Series. The St. Louis Cardinals versus the Detroit Tigers.
One more loss, and Detroit is done. But does that dampen the spirit of Detroit? Does it matter to them that only two teams in World Series history have ever come back from that kind of deficit? If two did, why can't another? So tune up that Tiger enthusiasm. Hang up those Tiger signs. Let's hear those Tiger cheers. Get out those Tiger hats. Let's never forget that cats eat birds, that it's far from over, that Detroit will never say die. And so it's game number 5. Will the series end here or go back to St. Louis? Michigan Governor George Romney still hopes for a Detroit miracle. So does American League President Joe Cronin and Tiger President John Fetzer and Hall of Famer Goose Gosselin.
Hi, everybody. Kurt Gowdy of NBC Sports with George Kell, the telecaster of the Detroit Tigers, once again roaming the stands with his mini camera and portable microphone will be Tony Kubek. And what a difference today. Bright sun is out. The temperature should be in the 60s, much different than yesterday. The field is still a little bit slippery. It's treacherous. Some of the ball players tell us in the outfield and on the grass, but it is drying out quickly. We have a little breeze going, and it's going to be Nelson Briles, the right-hander for the St. Louis Cardinals, and the Tigers, down to their last hope, are coming back with left-hander Mickey Lolich, who defeated the Cardinals in St. Louis. And so, George, the Tigers not only need a well-pitched game today, but they themselves admit they're not hitting, they're not scoring, and they've got to get some runs in their own ballpark.
Kurt, they've got their backs to the wall. I think they know that. There's no tomorrow unless they can win today. And, of course, as you said, they're putting all their eggs in the basket of one Mickey Lolich, hoping for a well-pitched ball game here today. But the Tigers have got to score. They've been here now in their home ballpark, played 2 ball games. They've only scored 4 times, and they're much better than that. They're not hitting, and they fully expect to get started here today. They're relaxed and a confident ball club, and they think they're going back to St. Louis.
And this is Nelson Briles, the 25-year-old right-hander from Carmichael, California, number 2 man on the Cardinal staff with 19 wins this year. He lost 8-1 to Lolich in the second game in St. Louis. He was a victim of 3 home runs. He won a series game for the Cardinals last year. Mickey Lolich, the 28-year-old left-hander who lives in Washington, Michigan, 17-game winner this year, finished the season strong just as he did the year before, making his second series start, beating Briles and the Cardinals 8-1 with a very nifty 6-hitter.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Please rise and join in the singing of our national anthem, which will be played by Merle Elby's band and will be sung by Jose Feliciano.
They gave through the night.
1968 World Series, being brought to you from Detroit, Michigan, as the Cardinals meet the Tigers.
With the singing of our national anthem, we're just about ready to get underway here at Tiger Stadium in game number 5, and this is it for the Tigers. They must win today or the World Series will be over. Here are the umpires poised on the steps of the Tiger dugout. Doug Harvey will be behind home plate. Doug of the National League. Bill Howler of the American League will be at first base. Tom Gorman of the National League will be at second base. Jim Honachik of the American League will be the third base umpire. Stan Landis of the National League will be down the left field line. And Bill Kinnaman of the American League will be the umpire down the right field line. Here's the throwing out of the first ball. This is Goose Goslin, former great Detroit Tiger player who's now in the Hall of Fame, and that's Mr. John Fetzer to his right and Commissioner Eckert to his left, and Bill Freehand moving into the picture to give the ball back and to shake hands. The Tigers are taking the field, and we're just about ready to go with the first pitch of the 5th game of the 1968 World Series. Here are the lineups. Lou Brock will lead off and play left field. Julian Javier will bat second and play second base. Kurt Flood will be in center field and bat third. Orlando Cepeda at first base and bat fourth. Mike Shannon will be at third base and bat fifth. Batting sixth will be the catcher, Tim McCarver. Batting seventh will be right fielder Ron Davis. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Dal Maxville. And batting ninth and doing the pitching for the Cardinals will be Nelson Briles. Big hand for Mickey Lolich as he goes to the mound to take his warm-up tosses with Bill Freehand. For the Tigers today, Dick McAuliffe will lead off and play second base. Batting second and playing shortstop will be Mickey Stanley. In the number 3 position and playing right field, Al Kaline. Batting fourth and playing first base will be Norman Cash. Batting fifth and playing left field, Willie Horton. In the 6th position and playing center field is Jim Northrup. Batting seventh and doing the catching, Bill Freehand. Batting 8th and playing third base, Don Wirt. And batting in the number 9 position and doing the pitching for the Tigers will be left-hander Mickey Lolich. Mickey, you remember, was winner of game number 2 in this World Series. Well, we're about ready to go and moving into the mic, all set to bring you the play-by-play. Here's Curt Gowdy.
Thank you, George Kell. Lou Brock getting ready to step in now. You study Lolich in slow motion. Lou Brock leads the series in batting. He led the series in batting last year. He's hitting .500. He's had 8 hits and 16 times up, and he's also the leading RBI man with 5. And, of course, has tied the stolen base record with 7. He's hit him short. He's hit him deep. He's hit him to left. He's hit him to right center. He's hit him to right. He's done everything. He's been on base 7 times in the last 2 games, and the first pitch to him is high and inside for a ball. The breeze today from third to first, favoring balls hit in the air toward right field. The left-handed full hitters have the advantage today. And as you saw, it's a fairly stiff breeze. There's a drive to left. That one's headed toward the corner. Willie Horton out after. Brock is coming into second. And Lou Brock, who is a great player during the season, but belongs in another league in a World Series, has his 9th hit.
Mickey Lolich, who owns the one Tiger victory, is Mayo Smith's choice to keep the Tigers alive. It doesn't look good as Brock again leads off with a solid hit, a double down the left field line.
He's now had 2 doubles, a triple, 2 homers. Oh, he's hit with power. Julian Javier is batting .400. Lifetime series average of 365. Another Cardinal who seems to rise to the occasion in World Series time. His two-strike pitch. Ground ball is short. Stanley holds Brock at second. Throws over and gets him. Javier's out. Short to first. Lou Brock still on second. One out. And Curt Flood coming up.
Curt rams a single to right. And the flying Brock scores easily.
There goes Brock. And it's a blooper to right. It'll score Brock. Brock had a big jump, and I think, George, if Flood had not swung, Brock might have had third base stolen.
He had a good lead, and Lolich was trying to hold him close, but when this fellow makes up his mind to go, Curt, he gets the great lead. He seems to have a knack of knowing when they're not going to throw to the base.
The Cardinals had not hit too much at the end of the year. They weren't supposed to have the power the Tigers had. And the power was supposed to favor the Tigers in Tiger Stadium. But it hasn't turned out that way. There he goes, low inside, the throw down, and it's a stolen base for Curt Flood. McAuliffe had to dig that one up out of the dirt. And here it is, George, on the rerun.
This fellow runs a lot like Brock. He doesn't run quite as fast or get quite the lead, but he's a good base runner.
Now they have a man in scoring position. They have the forced double play situation taken off. The 3-2 count to Cepeda. And he hits a high drive to deep left. That one is sailing back, going, and it is in the seats for a home run. Orlando Cepeda getting RBIs 5 and 6. He now leads the series in runs batted in. And these Cardinal bats continue to boom at Tiger Stadium. Cepeda, who had gone 60 times in the World Series at bat without a home run until Saturday, and then comes through again today.
He sends a high drive to left. It's his second home run of the series, and the Cardinals are quickly in front of Lolich 3-0.
2-1 pitch. A high fly to straightaway center. Jim Northrup waiting for it. We have 2 down. Tim McCarver batting .353, 6 hits and 17 times up, and he's driven in 4 runs. Cardinals have tagged Lolich for half as many hits as he gave up the entire game in St. Louis. The curve is strike 3. 3 runs for St. Louis, 3 hits. There were no errors and nobody left. And at the end of the first half inning, the Cardinals 3, the Tigers coming to bat. Nelson Briles, his 3rd series start, and his 4th World Series game. He pitched a 5-2 complete game win at St. Louis in the 3rd game of the series last year. He lost the 2nd game of the series to Lolich 8-1. Gave up 4 runs, 7 hits in 5 innings, allowing home runs to Horton, Lolich, and Cash. He was born in Doris, California. Lives now in Carmichael, California. Lieutenant Santa Clara University and Chico State College. 25 years old, and the first batter for the Tigers is Dick McAuliffe. High fly in the shallow center. Curt Flood looking up in that sun. Puts it away for the first out. Mickey Stanley, 3 hits in 16. High fly in the fairly deep right center. Flood over there again. 2 down. Kaline, born in Baltimore, Maryland, never played a day of minor league baseball in his life. 33 years old. A hard-luck fellow with injuries throughout his career. Goes after a curve. And Briles gets him down 1-2-3 in the first. At the end of the first inning, the Cardinals 3 and the Tigers nothing. Ron Davis is up now. a little nubber back to the mound. Lolich slips, but still throws him out. The grass has not dried out yet. It is probably drying out rapidly, but the outfield, the infield grass is still slippery, and the dirt, the edges around the foul ground are still on the soft side. The 1-0 pitch. He pops it up to the left side. Shortstop Stanley. 2 down. And here's Briles now. Struck him out. 1-2-3 innings to Lolich. At the end of an inning and a half, it's the Cardinals 3 and the Tigers nothing. Down to Tony Kubek.
Thank you, Kurt. Here's an all-time Dodger great, Duke Snyder. Duke, do you think we're going back to St. Louis?
Well, I'd like to see it go back, but Detroit's got their work cut out for them now, Tony. What have you been doing? Well, I'm with the San Diego Baseball Club now. We're going to be in the National League next year.
Duke Snyder, good to see you again. Now let's go back upstairs.
Norm Cash, 4 hits in 16, batting .250. Had 1 homer. He hit that one off Briles in St. Louis. There they drive in the deep right. That ball is off the top of the wall. Flood playing it beautifully, holds him to a single. It missed a home run by about a foot, and Kurt Flood played the carom beautifully. That's one of the longest singles you'll ever see.
Kurt, it was home run all the way, but he just didn't get it up in the air. And the ball hit, as you said, about a foot from the top of the fence and caromed right into the glove of Flood. And Cash had no choice but to hold on at first base.
The Tigers now have their first base runner. There's a ball hit to Shannon. Good stop for 1. Javier's relay for 2. Around the horn with a double play. And across the body stab by Mike Shannon. And an old third baseman should be able to talk about this one.
He makes a great play here. That was labeled base hit all the way, Kurt, and turns it into a good double play. Javier, as you can see here, got the throw in a bad position, but yet he made a good relay to first base. He was reaching toward left field to take that throw. He likes to have it on the first base side, but he got it on the other side. Still made a good play.
2 down. Jim Northrup has had 2 hits in 16 times. Big bounding ball to Briles. He'll go over. Now he flips to Cepeda. Briles had ideas of going over to make the play himself at first. Northrup is out from the pitcher to the first baseman. The Tigers are retired in a second. No runs, 1 hit. There were no errors. Nobody left. At the end of 2 innings now, it's the Cardinals 3 and the Tigers nothing. Lou Brock up, batting .529 in this 1968 World Series. A 3-2 pitch. A hard smash into center field, and Brock's on again. Brock studying Lolich, getting that good walking lead. There he goes, a pitch out, the throw, and they have him this time. They pitched out and got him.
Well, we'll take a look at it, Kurt. Here's the pitch out, and Freehand makes the perfect throw to McAuliffe right on the inside part of the bag, and Brock is out.
In the 3rd inning, St. Louis bids for more. Brock leads off in his devastating fashion as he singles for his 10th series hit. He now has a chance to break his own all-time base-stealing record. But this time, the Tigers are ready with a pitch out, and Brock is flagged down.
When you pitch out, it's pretty hard to get to steal, and Freehand called the turn exactly right here. He made the good throw right on the inside part of the bag. You can see Brock is out. 1 good stride from the bag.
So it's 1 out now. Nobody on, and a 1-1 count to Javier. The Cardinals ahead 3-0. A curve is hit out to Stanley. It's short. Stanley's throw right on the money, and they're 2 down. Kurt Flood. Big chopper hit to Don Wirtz. Wirtz throw, Flood is out, and the Cardinals are out in the 3rd. And Lolich now settling down. No runs, 1 hit, there were no errors, nobody left. At the end of 2.5 innings, it's the Cardinals 3 and the Tigers nothing.
Kurt, I've got one of the top sports writers in the country, Mr. Dick Young. Dick, are the Cardinals really this good?
Oh, they're that good. They ran away from the National League, and they're running away from this club. The National League, I think, is a little better league than the American League right now.
Dick Young, thank you so much. Now let's go back upstairs.
Bill Freehand, no hits in 12 times. He struck out 7 of those 12 times. There's a high drive. See what the wind does with that one. It's holding it up, and Brock is under it and makes the grab. Any other day, that ball would have been in the seats. That's the same kind of drive that Cepeda hit here on Saturday. And Freehan, high drive to deep left center was held up and becomes an out. One down. Don Wirtz, 1 hit in 8 times. All 4. Word is on. Mickey Lolich coming up. Struck him out. That's the second strikeout for Briles. The Tigers have 2 down. Top of the order, Dick McAuliffe, who flied out his first time. Check swing, taps it down to third. Shannon barehanding it. Oh, what a play by Cepeda with a big split and the scoop at first. Cardinals have played fine defensive ball in this series. No runs for the Tigers. No hits, there were no errors, 1 left. At the end of 3, it's St. Louis 3 and Detroit nothing. Dick Forbes, and with a light rink over the glasses, Joe Reichler, also at the commissioner's office, and Charlie Seeger. 1 strike to Orlando Cepeda, who hit a 2-run homer in the first inning. Leading the series now and runs batted in with 6, fouls it upstairs. Cepeda strikes out on 3 pitches. Lolich records his 3rd strikeout. Mike Shannon up. Well, since that rocky start by Lolich, he has settled down. Let's see, 2, 5, 8, 9. He's retired 8 of the last 9 men he's faced. Lolich pitching 1 and 2. Ball hit down the first baseline. Cash is hot right over his glove. There goes Shannon down to second. And we'll see how they score that one. And an error has been charged on Norman Cash, failing to come up with that ground ball off the bat of Shannon. 3 balls, no strikes. All 4, says umpire Harvey. McCarver goes to first. Shannon's on second. 1 away. Right-handed batter Ron Davis comes up. Curve is hit to straightaway center. Northrup coming in, waiting, makes the grab. Runners hold, 2 down. And Dal Maxwell, the batter. Strikes out. Lolich really toughened up now since the first. No runs for the Cardinals. They had no hits. There was 1 Tiger error, and the Cardinals left 2. At the end of 3 1/2, St. Louis 3, Detroit nothing. All right, let's see if we can find Tony around the ballpark somewhere.
Here I am, Kurt. I have with me the director of Baseball's Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York, Mr. Ken Smith. Kenny, I know you're here to pick up some baseball mementos. Have you done any good yet?
Yes, we already have a dandy. We had Bob Gibson's glove. Directly after he pitched that great game in St. Louis, I got the glove the next day, and it was sent to Cooperstown directly by courier and has been on view in Cooperstown all weekend.
You and baseball work fast.
Oh, we certainly do. We keep up with all the modern boys.
Thank you, Kenny Smith. Let's go back upstairs.
Mickey Stanley starts it off for the Tigers in the last of the 4th inning. Ball 1, and Briles fell down. That's an unusual sight. Very rarely see a pitcher fall flat on his face like that. It's 2-2 pitch to Stanley. There's a drive down the right field line. It's a fair ball. Stanley on his way to second and may come for 3 to throw to Javier. Javier holds the ball, and Stanley has a triple.
Nelson Briles carries his 3-0 lead into the 4th when Stanley rips one down the right side for a triple. All of a sudden, there's a ray of sunshine. There's hope. Suddenly, it's fun again to be a Tiger fan.
Out in that right field corner, that ball bounded away from Ron Davis. By the time he picked it up and fired into Javier, Stanley, who could run, got into third. Here's Kaline. He struck out his first time. And down he goes. Stanley holds at third. It's a fair ball. Kaline, trying to get out of the way, tapped it out in front of the plate. Stanley's on third. They were watching to see what Stanley was going to do. Kaline is out. And Norm Cash comes up. High fly should score the run. Coming over to handle it is Brock. Tag by Stanley. And he's in there. Wrong throw by Brock, though. Good throw by him.
He was a long way out there, Kurt, and it looked like he had no chance to get him. He made a good throw to the plate. Wasn't close, but he made a fine effort.
A sacrifice fly for Cash, a run batted in, and the Tigers are on the scoreboard. It's St. Louis 3 and Detroit 1. Willie Horton wrapped into a double play with a smash down the third baseline his first time up. Fly ball in the deep right center, and that ball is going to be bounding around out there. Horton is coming on. Here's the throw, and he is in with a triple.
Here's a replay of it, a long belt in the deep right center. This is the deepest part of this park. And Willie Horton, with some very daring base running here, goes in head first and just does beat the relay, as you can see.
He belts a drive in the right center alley. Blood handles the ball well, but Horton shows he can move a lot better than people think.
So Willie Horton is tripled. And when we showed you that outfield, how they were swung around, way around to left center, Horton got that ball in an open gap in right center. Jim Northrup bounced out. So a triple. A sacrifice fly and now a triple. And the Tigers trying to battle back, have their fans roaring here. And the Cardinals are going to get some action in their bullpen. Steve Carlton, rangy left-hander, starting to warm up. The first pitch to Northrup to strike. Ground ball to Javier. Takes a bad hop, and in to score is Willie Horton. And now the Tigers are one run down. Just as Javier went to field that, it hit something out there and took the bad hop over his head. A base hit for Northrup and a run batted in.
Here's a replay of it. You can see Javier ready to get it. The ball hit something, bounded up. He just got his glove on it, and it scooted into right center field.
Looks like an easy chance for second baseman Javier. Look at that bad hop. And scoring is Horton.
3-1 pitch. A high fly in the right field. Ron Davis is coming over for it. Makes the catch, and the Tigers are retired in the fourth. But they got 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors, 1 left. At the end of 4, St. Louis 3, Detroit 2. We're going to the top of the 5th inning. The Cardinals scored 3 runs in the first. When Brock doubled, Flood singled him in, and Cepeda hit a home run. Since then, Mickey Lolich has allowed just 1 hit, a single by Brock. And the Tigers have come up with 2 runs in the 4th. Nobody on, nobody out. And the 2-2 pitch. 5 strikeouts for Lolich. He said, well, I'm tired of messing around with this fellow. Get that fastball in there to him. Brock is doubled and singled. Now batting .556 in this World Series. He's had 10 hits and 18 times. There's a drive in the deep left center. Willie Horton going over. Brock's on again. Horton up with it. Throwing in, and Brock now has 2 doubles and a single in this game. How can a man get any hotter in the World Series than this fellow does, George, last year and this year?
Kurt, he's a great hitter and a great ball player, but everything's breaking right for him. He's showing me a little something here right now. Against right-handers, he seems to pull the ball, and against left-handers, he absolutely refuses to pull unless it's an inside slow pitch. He's going away with Olich all the time, and this is the mark of a good hitter.
First with 1 out, Lou Brock gets his 11th base hit of the series. Horton made a good play on the rebound to hold Brock to a double. How important this is for Lolich and the Tigers soon becomes apparent. Javier is the batter.
3-2 St. Louis. They now have 5 hits, and the Tigers have had 4. Line drive in the left. Horton's up with it. Brock's being waved around. The throw by Horton, and he is safe. Out! He's out! They call him out of the plate. Joe Schultz arguing the third base coach. Brock trying to score on a hard line drive single into left. And I believe they're arguing that he missed the plate there. Red Schoendienst is looking down. Just about any other player would have held up at third. But Brock just kept coming on a hard line drive single in the left. Let's take a look at it on a rerun.
Here's a replay of it. Willie Horton has a good arm now. He doesn't throw real hard, but he's accurate, and here's the throw coming in, and you can judge for yourself right here. As Freehand takes the ball just as Brock gets there, and he did not touch the plate. As you can see, he hit about 3 inches in front, just as Doug Harvey said he did. Well, you know, these umpires, they amaze you with these calls, Kurt. Watch it now. Doug Harvey pointed right in front of the plate, and you can see as he plants his foot there that he is just in front of it. He did not touch the plate.
Brock has a short lead at second. Stanley's been ducking behind him. Horton gets set in left. Javier singles sharply to left field, and Brock heads home. The throw to Freehand is perfect, and plate ump Doug Harvey calls Brock out. Now let's take another look in slow motion. Look at Freehand's left leg blocking the plate. This could be the crucial play of this 1968 World Series.
Kurt, we've seen Lou Brock thrown out on an attempted steal and thrown out at the plate, and this doesn't happen very often.
1-2. High fly, left center. Willie Horton is calling for it. Cardinals are out in the fifth. No runs, 2 hits. There were no errors, 1 left. Halfway. At the end of 4 1/2, St. Louis 3, Detroit 2. Quickly, let's go downstairs.
Kurt, I'm talking to Sid Hartman, the top sports writer of the Minneapolis Tribune. Sid, this Tiger team doesn't look like it's dead to me.
That's for sure. You know, Tony, they looked great against the Twins all year. McLean was 6-0, and they just handled us all year. The last 2 innings, they looked like the Tigers. They looked against the Twins again. I don't think they're dead. I think they still can come back.
Sid Hartman, thank you so much. Let's go back upstairs.
All right, now let's get over for the last half of the game, the play-by-play by the Tigers telecaster, George Kell.
Thanks, Kurt. And here's the first pitch to Don Wirt. It's down low. 1 ball, no strike. Wirt walked his first time at bat. That was in the 3rd inning. High pop fly. Maxfield shades his eyes. Wind brought that one back to the infield quickly. So Wirt is out number 1 on a pop-up for the shortstop.
You know, George, that Maxwell now, I think, has played in 19 series games, and he's never made an error in the World Series.
hard to believe, but you watch him and you can believe it, Kurt. He's quite a shortstop. Here's Mickey Lolich. He struck out in the third inning. He struck him out. Mickey Lolich went for the fastball, and he strikes out. There's 3 strikeouts in this game for Nelson Briles. 2 down, and the batter will be Dick McCollum. Took the curve, and it's in there for a strike. Briles came in with a 3-2 curveball, and he got it over. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, none left, and the score at the end of 5. The Cardinals 3 and the Tigers 2. Cardinals 3 and the Tigers 2 here in the top of the 6th. This fellow right here accounted for 2 of the 3 Cardinal runs in the first inning when he hit a 2-run homer. Fastball, and he pops it up into shallow right field. K-line is coming on, and the old crow puts it away. No more curves, I guess, for Cepeda. He drilled him in on the fist with a fastball. That's 1 away, and the batter will be the third baseman, Mike Shannon. Bouncing ball to shortstop. Mickey Stanley sidearms it over to Cash, and he's out. Boy, this crowd is still amazed at the way Mickey Stanley has moved into that shortstop position and taken over. This kid has got to be given all the credit in the world. World Series. And he moves to a tough position like that, Kurt.
Everybody thought that there would be so much pressure on him that it might blow him up completely for the series. He acts like they did him a favor.
There's a drive to right. K-line is there, puts it away. McCarver hit the ball hard, but straight to K-line in right field. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left, and the score as we go into the bottom of the 6th, the Cardinals 3 and the Tigers 2.
We've got Mr. Cub here, Ernie Banks. Ernie, you played against Brock. I heard you used to step on his toe when he got on first base.
Well, I tried to. I tried to actually trip him up before he took off for second base, but he's a great ball player, Tony.
The Tigers look tough.
They are. They're really coming back. They have a lot of momentum going now, and it looks like it's going to be a great ball game.
Ernie Banks, we're looking forward to seeing you in the World Series someday. Let's get back upstairs.
Here's the pitch. Fly ball, center field. Should be an easy play for Kurt Flood. Mickey Stanley is out on a fly to center, and the batter is K-line. Kurt, you mentioned a moment ago that K-line had never played a day in the minor leagues. Every man in the Tiger lineup today, with the exception of Norman Cash, has been signed by Jim Campbell and his crew and developed right from Tiger Town to Tiger Stadium. The pitch to K-line. There's a base hit to left field. Al K-line waited on the fastball, and he drilled it to left field. Well, this big crowd comes to life as the Tigers have the tying run at first base with only 1 out in the 6th inning. And the Cardinal bullpen is going to come alive.
George, getting back to that farm system, you look out there in the field right now, and Brock, Flood, Javier, and Cepeda came to the Cardinals from other ball clubs and trades they made.
Norman Cash, the batter. He's had a single and a sacrifice fly today. Batted in a run. Outside. Norman Cash gets the walk, and that brings Billy Muffet out of the Cardinal dugout. Billy, the pitching coach of this ball club, and very hurriedly coming out to the mound. As Kurt pointed out to you the other day, this is the way he pitched. He hurries to the mound, and when he was a pitcher, well, he got the ball and drilled it right back. And his conversation, Kurt's the same way.
Well, we've got Horton up there, the right-hander. Northup's on deck, a left-hander. Imagine if Horton does something. Carton will be ready to come in against the left-hander.
And he might be in there anyway. They might not want Briles to pitch to the left-hander. But that remains to be seen.
Now they're warming up a right-hander. Just got out. Looks like Willis, George.
It is. Ron Willis throwing with Carlton. Willie Horton hit into a fast double play his first time up. He hit the ball hard. Shannon made a good play on him. Then he hit a triple and scored a run in the 4th inning. This one's tapped down the first baseline. Cepeda will make the play to first base unassisted. Riles took something off the curveball, and Willie hit it on the end of the bat and just dribbled it down the first baseline. So now the Tigers have runners at second and third with 2 out, and the batter is Jim Northrup. And they're going to put him on. Northrup's going to get the intentional pass.
Bill Freehan's on deck, George, and if he's ever going to get a hit in this series, now will be the time for him to do it.
Well, what do they say about the law of averages and being due and all that, Kurt? Certainly that would apply to Bill Freehan.
He's gone 14 times without a hit, and here he is now with the bases loaded. 2 down, and the Tigers 1 run behind.
Here's something unusual, too, Kurt. This fellow's being given a standing ovation right now. They don't quit on Bill Freehan in Detroit. And something else, very seldom do you see anybody walk to get to Bill Freehan. This fellow's a very determined young man. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the 6th inning. The Cardinals lead by 1. Briles against Freehan. Ground ball to the shortstop. Easy play for Maxwell as he flips it over to second. So the Tigers threaten and fail to score. No runs on 1 hit. There were no errors. 3 left. And the score at the end of 6, the Cardinals 3 and the Tigers 2. Ron Davis to lead off in the 7th inning for the Cardinals. Ron's 0 for 2. He's tapped to the pitcher and flied to center field. He struck it. Davis went for the high fastball and he struck out. Number 6 in the strikeout department for Lolich today. The batter will be the shortstop, Dow Maxwell. There's a bouncing ball that's speared by Cash. Let's see the throw to Lolich. He got him.
And here it is in slow motion. Cash, who was charged with an error earlier, makes a beautiful stab of this. Far off the bag. Now he has to turn and make a good throw to Lolich, coming along the line into the bag and just a step ahead of Maxwell.
Nelson Briles, the batter, and I believe he's hit. He is. That ball scooted up there and hit him on the foot. And I don't know how this inning's going to turn out with that, but that might be the best play that Lolich could have made. You put Briles on there with 2 outs, and you pitch to Brock with first base occupied. Fastball hit hard. McAuliffe, a great play. The throw, and he got him. What a play by McAuliffe.
Here it is. This one nearly ripped his glove off.
No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, 1 left, and the score as we go into the bottom of the 7th, the Cardinals 3 and the Tigers 2. We'll go down and get Tony Kubek right now.
Next year, the Major Leagues will have 4 new clubs. One of those is San Diego Padres. The manager of that club will be Preston Gomez. Preston, we welcome San Diego and you to the big leagues.
Thank you, Tony. I'm looking forward to October 14th to get the players.
I guess you are, and that's important to you, and good luck to you next year. Let's go back upstairs.
The pitch to work. Curveball is in there, and it's called out on strike. Nelson Briles broke a dandy right over the heart of the plate. And Lolich is going to bat for himself. They're going to leave him in there, and this suits the crowd. Pretty tough to take this fella out. He gave up 3 runs in the first inning, and he's blanked them. Here's the 2-1 pitch. There's a pop fly into right center field. Davis coming in. He can't get it. And Lolich is going to have to hold with a single.
Tiger manager Mayo Smith makes a crucial decision and lets Mickey Lolich bat for himself in the last of the 7th with 1 out. He flukes one to right. Ron Davis just missed with a diving catch, and Mayo Smith's gamble is paid off.
Javier made a good play.
Ron Davis is coming on for this one. You'll see him dive. But the ball hits the turf. And now going out there is the second baseman, Javier, and if he had not been alert, Lolich might have been able to go into second and put the tying run in scoring position. And here's Billy Muffet, the pitching coach, coming out again, George.
He's got a left-hander, Joe Harner, in the bullpen, and Harner turned in a great job here on Saturday, and he might want him to pitch to McAuliffe in this spot. Ground ball. This one's to right field for a base hit. Lolich will have to hold up as the throw comes into second base. McAuliffe came through with a bouncing single into right, and the Tigers are threatening in the 7th inning.
McAuliffe slaps a grounder through the right side. And the Tigers now have 2 men on base. The pressure increases on Horner when he walks Mickey Stanley to load the bases.
Down low, and he walked him. Well, you can see the crowd coming alive here at Tiger Stadium. A walk to Stanley loaded the bases, and here's the old pro, Al Kaline. Bases loaded, 1 out. Cardinals lead by a run in the 7th inning. Kaline had a single his last time up. 1 strike on a fastball. Horner throws a good live fastball that will run away from the right-handed batters. He'll throw it toward the center of the plate, and it'll run away to the outside part. He keeps it down low in a spot like this, hoping they'll hit it on the ground. There's a drive into right center, a base hit for Kaline, a run in. There's another one coming in, and the Tigers have taken the lead.
Al Kaline's had a lot of hits in his career, George. That may have been his biggest.
That might have been the biggest hit of his life, Kurt, as he lined the single in the right center to drive in 2 runs. The Tigers have taken a 4-3 lead. They still have runners at first and third with only 1 out, and the batter will be Norman Cash. This crowd of 53,654 standing in a roaring salute to Kaline and the Tigers right now. The pitch to Cash. Ground ball, right field, base hit. Kaline heading for third. Here's the throw. It's going to be close. Nope, it's cut off. Billy Muffet coming to the mound. Norman Cash hit the first pitch, a sharp ground ball into right field, driving in the runner from third, and Kaline, with some daring bit of base running, raced to third base. Davis' throw was offline toward the left field line, and here's the new pitcher coming in. It's going to be Ron Willis. And there's a break in the action here at Tiger Stadium with the score, the Tigers 5 and the Cardinals 3.
Al Kaline, playing in his first World Series. With 1 out and his team trailing by 1 run, he's the man on the spot. The count's 1-1, and Kaline loops a hit into right center. In comes Lolich and McAuliffe with a tying and lead run. It's 4-3 Detroit. Kaline is having a great series.
It sends goose pimples all up my back, and it was a tremendous thrill to think that I was able to do something for the fans after all these years.
Norm Cash up next, and he'd like to buy some insurance. With 2 men on base, Norm slaps it through the right side. The Tigers now lead 5-3 as Stanley crosses the plate.
Well, let's go down and find Tony Kubek.
Thank you, George Kell. We're talking down here behind the Cardinals dugout to Bob Skinner, manager of the Philadelphia Phillies. Bob, the Cardinals look great, but these Tigers just don't want to give up.
No, sir, Tony. They're coming back in this game just like they've done all year. And like you say, the Cardinals have an exciting ball club. They do everything, but so do the Tigers. And they're showing it right here in this inning. They're coming back. They're playing well, and they haven't given up, and they're going to go on. And probably this thing will probably go a lot further than a lot of people think it will.
You think we'll see Gibson pitch another ball game then?
I certainly do, because they've got their momentum going right now. They've motivated themselves, and they've come right back out of a losing situation. They're winning now, and they're going to be tough.
Bob Skinner, thank you so much. Good luck with the Phillies next year. Nice to have you.
Thank you, Tom.
Let's go back upstairs.
This is Ron Willis showing a little of his slow motion delivery. He pops it up on the infield. Shannon at third base in foul territory makes the grab. So Willie Horton is out on a pop-up. That's out number 2, and the batter will be Jim North. He might be swinging on this 3-0 pitch. He does, and bounces it. Cepeda, good play. Cepeda saved a run with a diving stab of a hard-hit ground ball as Northrop, swinging at a 3-0 pitch, hit it hard, and Cepeda saved a run. 3 runs in the inning on 4 hits. There were no errors, 2 left. And the score at the end of 7, the Tigers 5 and the Cardinals 3. We've got some changes in the Tiger lineup. Ray Euler, here's Ray, has gone in to play shortstop. Mickey Stanley has moved to center field. Jim Northrop has moved to left field. And Willie Horton is out of the ball game. Julian Javier to lead off in the 8th inning for the Cardinals. He'll be followed by Flood and then Cepeda. He taps it out in front of the plate. This is going to be a tough play. The throw, safe. Javier hit it right on the end of the bat, and there wasn't much that Lolich could do about it. An infield single for Javier. He's at first with nobody out, and the batter will be Flood. Bouncing ball up the middle. Good stop by McAuliffe. They've only got 1, that's all. McAuliffe made a great play back of the bag. Could only get 1.
And here it is. McAuliffe making his 2nd outstanding play of the game. Right on back of the bag, and they'll flip to Euler, and they knock down that front man.
Orlando Cepeda, the batter. High pop fly into shallow right. K-line coming in, calling for it. He puts it away. Cepeda is out on a fly to right. That's 2 down, and the batter will be Mike Shannon. Here's the 2-2 pitch. He struck him out. Lolich threw the fastball by him, and he struck him out. No runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, 1 left. And the score at the end of 7.5 innings of play, the Tigers 5 and the Cardinals 3. Let's go down to Tony Kubek.
Thank you, George. I guess this fellow needs no introduction. Mr. Dizzy Dean. Dizzy, we going back to St. Louis?
Tony, that's all indication we're definitely going back to St. Louis. These Tigers showed me today that they came from behind, and this Lolich is quite a guy, and it looks like we're definitely going to St. Louis. It's a great series. It reminds me of a lot like the 34 series, Tony. You've been in a few of them yourself, partner. You know what it is.
Brock runs like that series gang you had that year.
Yes, he's quite a ball player. A very graceful ball player. Very interesting-looking ball player.
Dizzy Dean, thank you so much. Good luck to you. Let's go back upstairs.
Thank you, Tony.
Bill Freehan will lead off in the 8th inning for the Tigers. Freehan, Wirt, and then Lolich. He struck him out. Freehan goes down swinging. Well, there's 1 away in the 8th inning, and the batter will be Wirt. He lines it right into the glove of Ron Willis. A line shot that Willis speared on the mound. Oh, quickly, there's 2 outs, and here's Lolich, and he'll get a standing ovation. A standing ovation from 53,000 people for Mickey Lolich. And a well-deserved ovation, you might say. A bouncing ball to the shortstop. Maxwell over to first, and the inning is over. So the Tigers go out quickly in the eighth. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. And the score as we go into the ninth inning, the Tigers 5 and the Cardinals 3.
As the Tigers take the field for the top of the ninth, it is now up to Mickey Lolich to try and protect the 2-run lead.
There's the 1-2 pitch. A base hit to center field. He hit a curveball, and he lined it into center field.
When McCarver leads off the ninth with a single, Cardinal manager Red Schoendienst sends up his best pinch hitters to try and win the series.
And the batter will be Gagliano, batting for Ron Davis.
And as we look to the Cardinal dugout, Spezio has a bat over there, and he may come up to hit for Maxwell.
Fly ball center field. Mickey Stanley moves in to make the play. He's got it, and there's one out. One out. Maxwell scheduled a bat, and Ed Spezio has moved into the on-deck circle, and here he is. Spezio is going to come on and bat for Maxwell. Bouncing ball to left field, a base hit for Spezio. So the Cardinals keep fighting back. They've got runners at first and second with one out.
Ed Spezio, after fouling off 8 pitches, singles to left. And now the tying runs are on base for St. Louis. With just one out, Roger Maris can put it away for good with a home run.
We're going to get a runner. I believe it's Schofield. Schofield's going to run for Spezio. Lolich delivers. Got the fastball by 1 strike. Strike. Good curveball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mickey gets ready. Boy, can you imagine the pressure he's under? He's got to get him out to continue this World Series. He struck him out. Roger Maris went for a bad pitch, and he struck out.
He strikes Maris out. 1 out to go. And Brock the batter.
There's a tap to the pitcher. It could be over. Over to Cash, and it's all over. Mickey Lolich turns in a great job as he got Brock to tap it right back to the mound. And he raced to first base with it, as you saw, and he flipped it over to Cash, and the ball game is over. In the ninth inning for the Cardinals, no runs on 2 hits. There were no errors, 2 left. And the final score of the game, the Tigers 5 and the Cardinals 3.
Well, killing 3-0, Mickey Lolich shut out the Cardinals the rest of the way, and he's now down on the field. Let's go down there with the Tiger hero and Tony Kubek.
All year long, and we've got a guest. Governor George Romney congratulating Mickey Lolich.
That's terrific, Mickey. You're the hero of Tiger Town, I'll tell you.
Governor, you know, all year long, this club has been bouncing back, and, of course, they did it again today on the strength of Mickey Lolich.
Mickey and Al Kaline and the whole bunch.
Thank you so much, sir. Mickey, let's talk about the ball game and your performance. We just mentioned to Governor Romney all year long, you guys have been bouncing back, showing the baseball world exactly what you're made of. Today you bounced back from the 3-run deficit. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Tony. Like you said, all year it's been the type of team that we've had. When we've been down, we've always come through with the crucial base hits, and we've always come back to win the ball games when we were behind. The club has been great at it all year, and it's really an exciting ball club, and it's an exciting team to watch. And I know the people in the city of Detroit and some of the people that saw the game around the nation today had to see a real exciting ball club.
Mickey, let's talk a little bit about that man that's been pestering you. You couldn't keep Brock off base today, and yet you still beat him. Now, that's the key to me.
Well, Lou is one heck of a ball player. I'll admit I had trouble keeping him off base. I was surprised today how good of a hitter he was. I knew he had the great speed, and I heard he was a great outfielder, and they said that, you know, he'd hit a lot of balls, chop them into the dirt, and get on base like this. But today he showed me that he had more power than I ever thought he could ever have.
You know, Mick, a couple of days ago, there was talk in the newspapers and around the baseball world. There was a feud between you and Lou Brock. You had said something, somebody said. What is the true story?
Well, the story came out in one of the Detroit newspapers that I called Lou Brock a showboat. And, Tony, I'll say it right here, I never said anything like this whatsoever. The question that came up was, why was Lou stealing when he was 5 runs behind over in St. Louis last Thursday? I said he was trying to do one of two things. One, he was trying to rile me, upset me, for the next guy would get a base hit. Possibly I'd get upset enough or I'd give up a home run and they'd score the runs to catch up in the ball game. And I said the second reason might be that maybe he was going to try to set a Major League record for a World Series. And I didn't blame him for that either. But some reporter in Detroit tried to make a big deal out of something, but it wasn't true at all.
Mickey Lolich, thank you so much. I know you want to get in there and change your jacket. Right now I want to call in a couple of people that want to congratulate you, I'm sure. I'll do it right now and let you go.
Okay, Tony, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mickey Lolich. I want to call in right now Al Kaline. Al, congratulations.
Thank you. It's a real big hit for me. It wasn't one of the harder ones I hit, but it was one of the nicer ones.
I guess it was a big one. You kept the thing going. You drove in the runs. You know, yesterday, Al, you hit the 2-run home run, probably one of the biggest hits in your life, but you couldn't really enjoy it. You've been the type of player all your career, has been such a team man, and I saw you in the locker room afterwards. You lost, you hit a home run, but you still didn't enjoy it, and this is a tribute to you. You've been a great team man.
Well, Tony, when I hit the home run, it felt mighty good. You know, it put us 2 runs ahead, but, you know, when a team loses, it takes all the glory out or any personal things that I might have done. The big thing in this game is always winning, and this is what I've always felt, and I'm just happy that our team's been able to bounce back, and now we'll go to St. Louis, and maybe we can just squeeze it out. You never know.
Well, you look like you've got the momentum going. There was one big break in this ballgame early in the game when a bad hop got over the head of Javier, and, of course, this seemed to really excite you all, electrify all. You went right on from there and got hot.
Well, this seems like what happens all year. When there is a little spark or somebody does something outstanding, it seems like it drives the other fellas just a little bit more, and I think this is what happened today, that it took a bad hop, and the other guys got a little charge out of it, and we went on from there.
Al, let's ask about your pitching plans for that important game coming up in St. Louis. There'll be an off day, but can McLean pitch? Can Wilson pitch? Both may be injured.
I doubt very seriously whether either of them will pitch in that series. I think Mayo Smith's plans right now will go with Joe Sparma and the whole bullpen, and probably come back with Lolich again.
In other words, you do not think that McLean or Wilson will see any more action in the series?
I really don't think so. McLean's arm's bothering him quite a bit, and Earl's leg is just too bad for him to go out there and pitch. And I think Joe will come up with a big game, and we have some good boys in the bullpen, and maybe the pressure won't be so great now.
Lee tries to check his swing, but Lolich has him. And the Tigers win 5-3 and send the series back to St. Louis. For Hero Lolich, a standing ovation and a kiss for Daddy.